having been kind of thrown back in?
Yeah, energy, aggressiveness. I love that he was aggressive from three, and didn't hesitate. I think, what we're going through, not to overstate it, but last game, we played two ways. Beat was a two-way last year. After being in Exhibit 10, there's a lot going on. So having, and I think this is true, generally as well, having Mo, Dom, and Keaton, the energy that those guys gave us is significant. Particularly, Jalen's out. You're dealing with a lot of different, variables. So when you get a player, as Mo did, that comes in, has that hunger and enthusiasm. Not that other players don't, but the situation those guys are in is different, and that you could feel that. And so he gave us energy too, in addition to the things that he did on the floor. And we obviously, it's another. You point to the Skyhawks and the way that we use that group. Those guys are in there and are ready. Steve Clyde's done. I used to torture him and keep him up till 4 a.m. back when he was a little younger in Utah. So it's been fun to see his growth and development and the job that he's doing and teaching with those young guys.
Hey, Coach, just talk about what you've seen from Houston so far on tape, and also just talk about the importance of getting up to a fast start if you can tonight.
Yeah, obviously they're playing at a high level, and they have been the whole year. I think they play with a level of physicality that's unique, and that's something we've got to match and handle, because that, again, you can talk about that, but their aggressiveness, their ball pressure, they have a lot of guys that are capable of switching. So there's some things that make them a unique team, as I said, and it shows, by the way that they've been playing. As far as a fast start goes, I'd like to get a fast start and keep playing. I'd like to play fast. So that sometimes that's, ball's got to go in. That helps. But we had a great start against the Knicks. I think we scored 18 points in the first 5 minutes and then stalled. So I think it's more, certainly, getting going early is a good thing, but sustaining that effort, particularly when our bench comes in, those things are important too.
Coach, given that you guys have experienced injuries in the past, whether it's last year or before, is there anything about those experiences that are helpful when you do go through that, or is there nothing that can really prepare you as far as going through injuries, dealing with team morale and all of those sorts of things?
Yeah, I think it's hard to be have some kind of false positivity, but I do think there's earlier in the year when we lost a bunch of ball handling right out of the gate, and you do have a chance that some other guys get to grow. They're forced to be put in different situations, so there's always opportunity that comes through adversity. We've had an unusual amount of it, frankly, with some guys that are pretty important for how we play. I think you have to block out it doesn't take very long for people to forget that you're banged up. So if you lose a couple games in a row and you're on a slide and you used to be good and now you're not, there's a lot of psychological stuff that comes into play. And that's what it is. You've got to continue to push through that stuff. And in a lot of respects, if you look at a game like last night, we were in that game and probably had 3, 4, 5 open looks from 3 that if we made, who knows? So a game like that, there isn't like a moral victory. I wouldn't go that far, but there is a sense that you can continue to improve, and maybe find some stuff in other guys that step up for opportunities, and that can be a positive in the long run. How long that long run is, I think I've mentioned to you guys from the beginning of the year, that I think this team has a really long runway. And the first month of the season, we were a failure, and then the next month of the season, we were a success. And hopefully you can, if you continue to do that, that's probably normal. But I don't think you ever come out the other side if you wallow in some sort of misery about your fate. I think the idea is to embrace that stuff to the best of your ability, and that's why I mentioned some of the young guys that come in with more juice because of opportunities that are created. It's a long answer, but it's a very complex situation and process, and I think the best way to address it and approach it is really day by day, and kind of taking a gauge on where the team is and where you're trying to go.
Hey Coach, I know Zach's out tonight and we ask a lot about him, but he was named to the Rising Stars Challenge today. What does that say about the work that he's put in this year? And I know you've always said the progress isn't going to be linear, but how have you seen him, continue to grow?
It's affirming, anytime one of your players is recognized in that way, you're excited for them, and particularly in this case, knowing, as I mentioned, the work that he's put in. And again, I think maybe the most unique thing about Zach is that he just continues to compete. And a game like this is kind of recognition of that, that level of perseverance that you need to continue to improve in your career, especially when you're 19. My Rising Stars game was like in my high school, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay.